It's the Wednesday evening edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. I hope you're a weather geek, and chances are you are if you're watching this video. This is the daily video in which we take a much more in-depth look at our forecast, not only for the short term, but as always, on this video at the end, we'll take a look at the longer range as well. First, some fun with numbers tonight. We are looking at the first 4 days of November and the warmest first 4 days of November on record across the region. The list of warmest years, that is, for the first 4 days of November. 2003 takes the cake with an average temperature of 62. Well, you say it's been warmer than 62. Well, yes, for highs. But when we look at the average temperature, that incorporates both the highs and the lows. So 2003, the warmest first 4 days of November. 2015 is going to come in right about here in 8th place. It'll slide in there when we incorporate today's data. So it's been the 8th warmest start for the first 4 days to November on record here in Youngstown. Now, when we just look at the high temperatures and not factor in some of the chilly overnight lows, here is the list of the warmest starts to November as far as just high temperatures. And I can tell you that when we factor in today's data, which isn't on here just yet, but when it is, we'll be at 4th place. So when we're just looking at highs, first 4 days of November, 4th warmest start to the month on record here in Youngstown. 76 was the high today. I thought we would break the record today. I really did. We hit 76 yesterday, and we got off to a warmer start this morning. But the atmosphere just kind of ran out of gas a little bit this afternoon. We stopped at 76 degrees. So the record today of 77 will hold. The satellite picture is a little bit interesting this evening. We have a deck of stratus clouds pushing in, and I think these will be around for a chunk of the night tonight, so it'll end up being a cloudier night, and that's really going to keep temperatures from dropping. If you thought last night was mild, and in some places it was, tonight's not much lower than the middle and upper 50s across the region. So the clouds will trap in the day's heat, act like a blanket a little bit, and keep us on the mild side. These are unproductive clouds. As you can see, there's nothing going on in the radar underneath any of the clouds across the eastern U.S. I'll take off the satellite. Radar is nice and quiet. Most of the action remains out west this evening. Temperatures, of course, have been the story for everyone east of the Rockies, but easy to pick out our cold front this evening. It's right in through here, and this is, of course, marching east. And that front will arrive on Friday. So tomorrow is a cloudier day, but a dry day. We'll probably get into the lower, if not middle 70s again tomorrow after that warm start. Any bonus sunshine we get will only help the temperature get up into the mid-70s. Tomorrow's record high is 77 once again. I don't think we'll break it, but we might make a run at it anyway. So let's focus on Friday's cold frontal passage. So this is not a washout Friday. In fact, I think the window of rain on Friday is roughly from about daybreak through about maybe 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Here's the NAM model at 7 o'clock, right around sunrise Friday morning, showing a couple of bands of showers here, one pushing through, another one back here, closer to the actual cold front. So that's at daybreak, so the kids will be a little bit damp in some places at the bus stop Friday morning. Now by midday, the actual cold front is approaching, so here's 10 in the morning, with a band of showers pushing through. And I think this is the part of the day when we might actually get a thunderstorm here and there. Show you the instability here, the CAPE values, convective available potential energy. The light shading of blue here, that's a positive CAPE value. That means that there is instability in the atmosphere and enough that there might be some thunder. It's actually kind of interesting. The Storm Prediction Center has us in the marginal risk zone on Friday, meaning they think that there could be some isolated severe thunderstorms. I think it's a pretty low chance, but the chance is not zero. But even outside of thunderstorms, it's still going to be a windy day on Friday. Notice the isobars are packed pretty tightly together here. So a wet lunchtime period for Friday. Now by 1 in the afternoon, most of this is trying to shift east, and I think probably by 1 p.m. the I-79 corridor, maybe the last place is getting the wet weather. And we probably will actually see some sun before the afternoon is through on Friday. Now, we've got strong cold air advection occurring on Friday. That means colder air pushing into the region, and so temperatures won't be aided much by the sun. In fact, temperatures may fall for a lot of the afternoon on Friday. That'll set the stage for a chilly evening, but a dry evening for night number 1 of the high school football playoffs. I think we have 9 area teams playing Friday evening, and we will be dry. But bundle up. It will be noticeably chillier than the start of the day on Friday. All right, heading into the weekend, and it's going to be a quiet weekend. Now, Saturday's a pretty cool day. I think even though the front is sagged south, there's going to be a band of clouds that tries to linger through a good chunk of the morning. We'll try to get those clouds out of here by the afternoon on Saturday. And then I think Sunday is a dry and mostly sunny, if not just completely sunny day as high pressure builds in from the west. That high will make for a beautiful day, but you'll need the jacket. It'll be a classic looking fall day coming up on Sunday. All right, the longer range. I'm going to look at the upper level pattern here for the medium and longer range. Here's our trough pushing through late this week and early this weekend. It'll be replaced by another ridge early next week. Now, this ridge will not be as strong as the current one, so we're not going to see the 70s next week. But we might touch 60 once or twice during the first half of next week as that nice bulge in the jet stream moves overhead. So we head towards the second half of next week. A pretty decent storm is shown on a lot of the modeling. Now, it doesn't look real impressive here, but probably a pretty good cold front comes through late next week with the rain and some wind and just a classic fall storm. So that'll be kind of the big ticket item, I think, for the second half of next week. In the longer range, here's 10 days out. We're not looking at much remarkable here across the region. Big trough in the Gulf of Alaska. There probably will be some ridging over the southwest in response to that, and just kind of a generally kind of flat west to east flow across the region 10 days from now, right around the 14th and 15th. So what that would mean for us as far as our practical weather, not a real warm pattern, but not a cold pattern either. In fact, notice got a little ridging going on here on day 13 and 14, about 2 weeks from now. So I don't see any signals for sustained cold in the longer range. There's going to be some chilly days, but overall it's the occasional chilly day in a pattern of warmth. Here's the 8 to 16 day outlook on the GFS ensemble. Chilly weather in the northwest and in the south, and around here the 8 to 16 day period may average out to be a little bit warmer than typical for the middle of November. All right, that's it for Weather Geeks tonight. Another version tomorrow evening, and of course you can check out my fresh 7-day forecast tonight on 21 News at 11. Have a great night, everyone.